You may not believe. You may think it's not real.
Is anybody there? What could be haunting this place?
Do spirits really exist? Use your voice and communicate to us.
I'm Bex.
And I'm Sean.
Uncover the truth
On the Ghost Dimension channel.
There is a thin divide between what is perceived as spiritual and paranormal, for they are forever entwined throughout time. Traveling within the history of the world, we can find examples of spirituality that involves everything from magic, spirits, gods and goddesses, and seers or people said to be able to talk to the dead. We all have our belief systems and we all have our own truths. So come sit with Holly Jenkins and myself as we talk about all that and more. Welcome to Spiritually Paranormal. I guess it would help if I put myself on here. You got, typical Wednesday, right? Holly can't hear me, so she just went out to reboot her phone. She'll be back in a second. I don't know about you all, but all this retrograde stuff is like, I think there's like 3 planets plus the supermoon that's coming in tonight, the blue supermoon. It's the second full moon this August, and I guess it won't be coming back in till 2036, I think I read. So take advantage of that energy. But yeah, it's been really playing with all my electronics between spirit and whatever juju's out in the universe right now. I also heard, and my heart goes out to everybody, including still Hawaii. There's so much devastation that was caused by the storm and the fires that hit over in Hawaii. So I ask everybody to please keep them in your thoughts and prayers as the news has shifted to our southern states here in the United States, who are feeling a big storm that's hitting down there. Can you hear me yet? No, I can't.
What the heck? 2 words. Mercury retrograde.
I just said that, yeah. And what's really bad with it, too, is the fact that down in Florida, the full moon, because it's so close, it's not going to be like, we're not going to see another blue moon till 2036. I just heard on the Weather Channel. And they were saying that it's going to really affect the tides down in Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. And it's just, the water surge is huge. So, and everybody's like, yeah, that's going to be a really bad tide because the moon is so close. But everything, like you said, is in retrograde. So it's crazy.
Retrograde, Uranus retrograde, some other retrogrades. I can't remember.
I think it's
Venus retrograde.
Yeah, I think it's Venus. That was a weird one for me to hear. So yeah, with the electronics going crazy. Hello, everybody. Hi, Cookie. Hi, Leanne. Hi, Martha. Margaret. I'm sorry. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Connie. How are you? Yeah, I've been watching. Yeah, the rain, Connie. I'm sure. Just stay safe. That was one of the big things. I feel for all those people. I understand. And matter of fact, one of the Cedar Key, I think they said it was this morning, it's like gone. Like the water just came in, everything got knocked down because it was an older key. It was actually kind of historical. They haven't seen a storm like this since the mid 1800s. So it's a bad one. But what I tell people, and I've been through it. You've been through really big storms. I've been through 3 sets of tornadoes. One of them that took my parents' home right to the ground because it also started an electrical fire. And that was back in 1991. Then I was in one recently here and watched it rip stuff down up here. And when they tell you to evacuate, that's some serious stuff. And you guys need to all evacuate. Your life
What
is not
do you
worth
hear about the
material.
diesel mixed in with the gas?
Yeah, it's I don't. I understand people want to stay in their home. I understand that sometimes when they do these storm warnings that some of the storms don't touch them. But when they say this is coming across in a different way, the warm water in the Gulf is just amping it up, and they come to your house and they say you need to be evacuated. We will help you go right now. And these people stay. And then they put everybody else after the storm goes through in danger. They have to go and rescue them because they're sitting on the top of a roof for God knows what. So I just wish people would consider that when they do what they do. It's just a rough thing. Oh, look, Ruth's here. That is a ta-da. Ta-da.
Right?
I
I was saying, did you hear that there is diesel mixed in with some of the gas? That is going to prevent a lot of people from even being able to escape this madness.
it's
I
just,
wonder, is it on purpose or what?
I don't know. I don't know. I just I mean, at this point, and seriously, most of us that are not in those physical areas, we can't do anything about it.
Mm-mm.
Okay, now you're going to listen to Holly just for a second because I forgot to put Dum Dum on his thing.
Well, I'll show everybody what I painted this morning on my live. Are you ready? I'm going to turn you around.
Okay.
You see that? Yeah. Nope, wrong way. That way. There we go. So I just thought it was fitting to do a wolf on this full blue moon. You know,
Oh, that's cool.
what better time is there to paint a wolf, right?
Yeah, that's cool. A wolf howling at the moon. Yeah, that's cool.
I just did that quick little.
Yeah,
live.
I was hoping to have my pots that I sent in the last two that I glazed are ready, but my kid from another mother who's up here right now, a deer hit her car yesterday on the freeway, so she can't get in and out of the left side of the car, and thank God she's okay. So yeah, I'm gonna have her pick it up. So I'll have them next week. I'll show them to you. But yeah, it's some crazy stuff. Just some crazy energy for sure. I don't know if any of you, Crystal or Ruth or Connie or Cindy or Margaret, I don't know if any of you have had this, but like 2 nights ago, I was already in bed, and 2 o'clock in the morning, my computer set off Spotify. Like, boom. And Lady Gaga was singing to me at Born This Way at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I shut my screen off, but nothing had been opened on my computer. I was like, what the heck? So I had to get up because it was blaring. Do you think I could get the computer to, it wasn't even showing that the dang thing was open, like the app. So I had to open it, but it said it wasn't open. So it opened it and I went to shut it off. This computer completely shut down, and my television in the front room that wasn't on because it's 2 o'clock in the morning actually put Spotify on, and that song continued over there. And I'm like, okay, all right, like, okay, I hear it, and I have no idea why. But yeah, Lady Gaga was at my house at 2 o'clock in the morning the other day.
That's nuts.
Just some crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Okay, so now I'm also going to bring up, because this was just fun. I sat in. My problem is when I physically hurt, I just don't sleep during the day, and I can't sleep at night either. So I don't usually fall asleep till like 2 or 3 sometimes in the morning if I'm not having done a lot. So I want to tell you how much I'm like so despise the fact that you told me to get on TikTok. I mean, I so despise it. I get on TikTok, and last night it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I was laughing so freaking hard. I just could. I had tears. I was laughing so hard. The egg challenge that they have out there right now.
Oh, where they're hitting the kids and they open the eggs.
Well, not just the kid. The kids. You know, some of them. You know, they're old enough, but some of them, I don't think they should be doing it. It's kind of mean to little kids. But this one dad had his daughter was probably about 5 or 6, and he goes, okay. He comes in the kitchen. He's like, we're gonna do this, and put the mix in there. He says, now we got to put an egg in there. He grabbed the egg and he turned around. He just like reached over and smacked it into her forehead. And the look on her face was like, and she looked at him and she went whack and just sent him flying. I thought I was going to piss my pants. It was so funny. And then the wives and girlfriends that are doing it to the men, I think that's even funnier.
Oh, yeah.
The whole time I'm laughing, right? Because I'm trying to get my brain to shut off, not engage. I'm laughing and cussing at you at the same time. And I'm like, oh, I just can't. And you just keep, and some of them are so freaking funny.
Yeah.
You just keep watching them. Like you're laughing so dang hard. They had another one that I was laughing at, and this is kind of interesting because this is a way social media has played into our lives, and I'm really glad that people are having fun, and everything. But some of them are kind of mean, right? Some of them I don't like the kids will turn around. One of them said, "What the hell, Dad?" And he was like 5, and it's like, oh my God. So we're not really teaching them good things, I don't think. But I look.
You need to remember, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
Right.
You don't know the conversation they had with the child after they said it. Because kids are known to say some stuff. They repeat everything they hear. So,
Oh yeah, it's a lot. Then they had one more that I'll tell you, and again, I was laughing so hard. There's a comedian I watch, and I think she's down from Mississippi or something, and she's like our age, right? In between our age. And she's Southern, and she tells it like it is. And, she was talking about when cops come to the house and like somebody, they get into a fight, like a domestic, right? And you go to the house, and if it's a white person, the woman is sitting outside either on the front lawn or on the porch, and the guy's screaming in the house, he'll kill her if she comes in, right? And the cops pull up. He says, and she's like making the story, like, oh my God, I need my cigarettes. And she's doing this, and it is comedy. She's laughing. She says, but now I'm going to flip that. And she says, if you go to a black person's house and the cops come for a domestic, it's not the woman you see sitting out there, it's the man. And she went through this whole thing, and all the men were laughing their butts off. And so this other video was these young guys, these young boys, kind of pranked their mom just to see what they would do. So one of them walks behind his mom when he's walking by, and he takes his whole like that and knocks into his mom, who was cooking on the cutting stuff up to cook. She turned around. He had just got past her, and she was a black woman. And I love this because I've seen this with my friends. No hesitation. And he's like this big 18, 19-year-old guy. Grabbed him by the back of the head and ripped him back and said, no, you did not just do that to your mother. And I'm like, holy wow. Another kid did it. He was sitting on the couch next to his mom. He did something really dumb. She said, you did not just do that. And he's trying not to laugh. So she looked away, and he did it again. But when he did it, he got up and ran to the other couch. She literally got up off that couch and started pounding him and said, you will learn respect. I am your mother. And he's like this. And you're laughing, but really seriously, if you really think about it, like you said, that's not really funny.
No, some of it's not. But there's also so much good stuff on there as well. Like there was this one mom with all her kids, and she gave them a budget. Like, this is what job you're going to have. This is how much money you're going to make. Here are the things you need to be paying for. There's a car, insurance, your rent, your water, electric, and here's how much all those things cost. Now, you need to figure out how to live on those things. And they were age range from probably about 8 or 9 on up to the teens. And the stress on those kids' faces, because they were trying to figure out how to make that money stretch and how to make it work. And a lot of them were like, well, I'm not going to have a car. I'll get a bicycle, you know. Or I guess I'm not going to eat all day. I mean, but it's real life. And it's
well, yeah. And like, I know you raised your kids well, and you taught them how to take care of themselves. Taylor learned from being on the end of, yes, we have money, to no, we lost our house, to really limited funds, to finally balance. She has learned all those things, and I never kept anything like that away from her. So she understood it. Like, if, you know, we had to eat mac and cheese a whole week one time, that's what we were eating, right? And so she knows how to do that. And I think that when you went to high school, did you have like economics class and home ec and stuff like that would teach you?
Because I didn't want, you know, I grew up where I was always, at a very young age, I was cooking as soon as I could reach the stove. And I was doing the dishes and the laundry. I'd been doing all that. So I didn't take home ec. I took shop class.
Well, I just think that what we're doing for our children is not good for them, because we're giving them everything. At least in this day and age, they're getting everything. Kids have no respect.
I was growing up. I had to work for everything I had.
But they don't anymore. They don't even want to work. And they have no respect for older people. They have no respect for teachers. And it really, really concerns me, because these are the people that we're pushing out into the world, and they're not equipped to take care of themselves, even the basic things. Yeah. And it scares me, because I think as family units and as adults, we should be teaching our children or our grandkids or whatever how to survive every day.
Yeah.
You know, let alone if something bad comes in. I don't understand why we throw it out there.
I let them help me with the garden, and I explain the different foods and how we got to go about planting them and all the little hacks I've learned. They help me in the kitchen. They love to cook. Leo and Gabriel absolutely love to cook. And I know Raylan James, he loves to cook as well. And so we keep them involved, make sure that they understand right away what to do.
I think that's really important. And, you know, I look back at my parents, and I was raised in a Catholic household during the 60s. So that was, you know, go to church every Sunday. I went to Catholic school for 12 years. But with even that said, we had structure. And one of the things that when I had the bigger house that we lost, I would always have kids there with Taylor, right? They would come in flocks on the weekend, because we had horses and we had the bonfire at on the lower end by the creek, and you know, they could run around and expend energy. But if they wanted to ride the horses, they had to take care of them that day. They had to help take care of them, brush them, groom them, feed them, water them, and it taught them stuff. And then I'd have people showing up for weekend dinner, like, right? And I always, from Monday through Saturday, dinner was a must. Like, everybody had to be home and sitting down, right? And my mom was at one end, I was at the other. And what we would do is we'd go around the table and we'd ask these children, and they were children, they were ages 6 and up, what they did in their day, what they want to share about that day. And nobody else could talk. And we handed the feather, right? The talking feather around, or the talking stick, whatever it was that we had. And the kids that were there that were not under my roof normally were like, can we come back? Do you guys do this all the time? Like, seriously? And we're like, yeah, they go, this is really cool. They crave structure. They crave responsibility, and they're not getting it. And that, to me, that hurts our young people, because spiritually they're not getting what they need in an everyday life, so they don't care about anything except me.
Yeah. Leo and Gabe, they just started school this year because they've been homeschooled the past 2 years. And they were in for a shock on the first day of school. Leo was like, he was grossed out because at lunch, kids were spitting on each other and throwing food at each other. It was really gross. They had kids just cussing at them like crazy. A lot of little bullies running around the school. It's terrible. What are parents teaching these kids? And I feel like they're not teaching them anything. They're just letting electronics raise them.
Well, yeah, you step outside. This was when Taylor was in high school, and she's going to be 30 now, which I can't believe. Next month, the end of the month, is her birthday. But when I would go to pick her up from high school, all these kids lined up alongside the school on the sidewalk where you drove by to pick up your kid were doing this with their phones, right? The person they're texting is 2 kids down. They've lost social skills. They don't know how to speak to each other. And it's like this is what they're doing. And then they're leading by example as their parents. I've seen them, and I'm sure everybody has. When you go out to dinner, my rule is if we're out to dinner, the phone goes away. Or when we're eating dinner here at home, the phone goes away. I'm not a fan of that. I don't want that in my house. And you go and you see all the parents are sitting there. They're not even talking to the kids or paying attention. And everybody's at the table playing with their dang phone. Now, I get it if you get an emergency call, and I've had those happen, but my phone was in my pocket. And, of course you're going to answer that. Like, why is this person calling me at this time of day or not? We got to find out what's going on. But anything else, people have lost what it is to be properly socialized, I guess. I don't know. Are we teaching them? Are we teaching them spiritually? Because I don't see it. Am I missing it, or?
Well, like last night. So yesterday I worked on a whole new journal, spiritual journal and reference guide. I added a ton more things, and 2 of the things I added was your destiny number and your life path number. So I was telling Robert about them, and Leo sitting there at the dinner table. We're waiting on dinner to be done. And Leo wanted me to calculate his, and then Gabriel wanted me to calculate theirs. So I include them on all of it. I never say, no, you don't understand. I go ahead and I do it, and I explain it to them.
Well, I think there's fewer of our type of people around than the norm. And that's why, like, when kids bring their kids up here, like my friends, and they'll bring their grandkids up here, kids are just like, wow, like, this is kind of cool. And they do put their phones away, because I'll tell them no TV, no phones. Well, what are we going to do? Oh, well, I don't know, let's do something, whatever, play a game or art, or go outside and go fish, or whatever. But it's like, it takes me back to when I was in Detroit. And Taylor was at my mom's when I was living there, and I was at work, and I came back home, and Taylor come running into the house. She was about, I don't know, 5 or 6, right? She goes, Mom. I go, what? And she says, Destiny's mom needs you right now. I said, what's the matter? She goes, I don't know. She's screaming out in the yard, and she locked the kids out of the yard. I'm like, okay, give me a minute. I'll be right there. She says, what's going on? She goes, there's this thing. I said, this thing, what is this thing? I don't know what it is, but it came out from under the shed, and it tried to attack me while I was getting ready to mow the grass. And I'm like, okay, what did it look like? I don't know. I've never seen it before. It's not a dog or a cat. I don't know what it is. And she was terrified. And being that the kids were 5, 6, and 7, they were all scared to go back there. And I'm like, what the heck, right? And now we're in Detroit. When I was little, we used to have all kinds of animals. We used to have toads, snakes, rabbits, everything, coons, everything, right? But in the 1990s, that all kind of disappeared because of just population moving and everything else. I went out there in the yard, and I actually got down there. She goes, don't get that close to that hole. Don't get that close. It was a bunch of baby rabbits.
Oh my gosh.
And the mom. And I said, I looked over her. I go, you kidding me right now? She says, what? I said, it's a rabbit with babies. She goes, a rabbit? And the kids are like, wow, a rabbit? And she goes, will it bite me? And I'm like, are you serious right now? Will it bite you? No. You probably scared it with the lawnmower. So it's like, I just feel that everybody is out of touch.
Out of touch, completely out of touch. Yeah. I teach the boys meditation. I teach them all kinds of things. Anything that I'm doing, they're learning. I sit down with them at the table and I teach them how to paint. You can see some of the things that Leo and Gabriel have done. They do really well. I mean, we go
but they want it. They want to know.
They love it.
I don't know. It's just, it makes me kind of sad. I feel like we're failing our kids. And it was our mom to look at us and raise one eyebrow. Oh yeah. That's like if I knew I screwed up with something, like for me, it was Sunday mornings before church. And I was like, I remember it was like up till I was 7 or 8. I used to bite my nails when I was a kid. And now I still leave them because I'm working with clay or oil paint. I always keep them short, but I used to chew them, right? I don't know why. It's a compulsion when you're a kid, right? So my mom would say the previous week, you better not do that again. Your nails need to be looking okay. Your hands are, looking bad. Some of it would get blood because whatever I did. Every Sunday morning, I couldn't stop myself. Middle of the week, I'd be like pulling them off. And a lot of times I'd just break them off and pull them off. And it'd be like, oh, it's only Wednesday. They'll be good by Sunday, right? And then I'm like looking at them on Saturday. I'm like, grow. Every Sunday morning, I'd get up. I'd get dressed. I get ready. And my mom goes, oh, let me see your hands. And I'm like, no. She says, did you do it again? And I just sit there and I'd show her. And this was back like in the late 60s, early 70s. She'd just haul out and smack my hands. Oh, man. And you'd pull them back. And so anything wrong, my dad was a soft touch. So I'd go like stand behind my dad or sit on his lap when I was little. And my mom, man, she ruled that house. So it's like, yeah, no, they don't get that anymore. Now they'll pick the dang phone up and call human services on you.
They want to have the little conversation and they want to talk all sweet and soft to them. And that's okay to some extent. You do need to have conversations with children, but you need to let them also know you're in charge. You're the boss. You're the adult. And there's so many kids that go around and the roles have switched. They boss their parents around. They tell them what they are and aren't going to do. Not mine.
Oh, yeah. I would have lost my teeth. If I talked to my mom like that, I would have lost my teeth. There's no way. It's like, you better be here in the house by the time the streetlights are on, because we'd be out playing curveball or football or something out in the street. Man, if we made it and that streetlight went on, woo, man, we were in trouble. It's like you try to creep in, and no, Mom, I was just sitting on the side porch. Yeah, no, that didn't work. I don't know. I just think socially we're going in a very wrong direction.
Yeah.
Very, very wrong direction. If your kids ask you something, they ask you a question, engage with them, teach them. And if it's something you don't know, like some of the paranormal stuff, I remember watching with my kids Taps. Taps was one of the first, and they were real. They weren't like phony like some of these shows are. It was real, and they were like really curious. So that would open discussions about spirituality and what is and what isn't and all that good stuff. Who's laughing?
You got grounded? No, not rude.
Because she called her little sister a little shit. Yeah, that's another thing. When we were little, we couldn't cuss. Oh man.
You got caught, you were in so much trouble.
I remember I remember when my mom moved up with us here when we moved up to this area in 2000, and my dad had passed in 93. So we came up in 2000, new home, and it was her choice. I said, do you want us to go to the suburbs, or will you be interested in going up with us? And she came up with us, which was cool. But I'll never forget the day we were all sitting at the table, and my roommate had her 4 kids there, and they were Taylor's age and younger, going all the way down. And I was there, and Tracy was there, and my mom was at the head of the table. And my daughter said something in response to something my mom said. Taylor looked at her and said, "Bullshit." And I went, everybody in the room just kind of stopped. People had forks going to their mouth. They just stopped, and they were all looking out of their corner of the eye. And my mom said, see what you've created? Now your daughter is cussing. Oh my God. Yeah, we didn't do that back in those days. Not at all. Oh, yeah, that's true, Connie. Absolutely. A couple families in my suburbs. I've had it done to me. I've actually had it done to me. I actually had family services coming to the house, and I knew them all because this is a small community up here. And they said, yeah, come on in, And they said, did you spank whatever child it was? And I said, yes. And they go, did you spank her with a wooden spatula? I said, yes. And they go, how many times did you spank her? I said, oh, she got 7 whacks, 1 for each year of her life. And I said, she would have got 8. It would have been all over. And he looked at us. He says, well, I don't understand. He says, why were, I go, oh, it wasn't like burning her butt, right? It wasn't burning her butt. And they go, well, why did you do it? I said, looked at her. I said, Summer, you want to tell them why you got in trouble and got a timeout after you got spanked? And she just put her head down and shook her head no. I said, Summer, why didn't you take them to what you did?
Right.
She had taken a permanent magic marker, and all, because it was a new home, I was doing each door. We had lots of doors to do. They were raw wood, and I was doing different stains on each one of them depending on the room decor. She had taken the magic marker and drew like a little kid all over, and you can't sand it out because it sucks into the wood. But not only did she do it to the doors, she went through her door, the hallway, the vestibule, my mom's door, in and around, into the bathroom that was there, all over the bathroom wall. And then she peeled the wallpaper off. And I said, so what do you think? He just looked at me and says, yeah, I think I would have spanked her too. I said, they've got to know that if they do something, there's consequences. I says, and plus she picked up her sister's chores. She has to water the horses for a week. Yeah. And they go, okay, yeah, okay. And they left, and they just looked at Summer and they says, you better not be doing that stuff again. So, I mean, there's got to be consequences. So, yeah, I just wish we would do better for our kids and our elders. I really feel very strongly about that. 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
So what else has been going on? You been having any knocks and cracks in your house?
No.
I don't like you. I just don't like you.
I have crystals from every nook and cranny of my entire house. I'm smudging all the time. Hey, they don't want to mess with me anymore. They don't want to mess with me. They're not doing it. Not doing it.
Well, I don't know why they want to mess with me. I mean, I'm like over it.
That's fun to play with.
Huh?
You're fun to play with.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, the birds will get all excited. They're all happy. And when they're looking up and being all happy, I know whoever's in that, somebody's in here, and it's like, they're all happy about it, except that one time. That wasn't cool.
There's this one particular couple on TikTok. They're in the UK somewhere, and their house has got some serious, crazy, haunting stuff going on. And I saw one of them this morning where he thought his daughter came in, and he was talking to her, but you can't see her. And she clearly she said she was going to the bathroom. Like he had just gotten up, he was headed that way. So Don't be long, he had to go. Like, he grabbed something out of the fridge and put on the counter for her. And then a few minutes later, that bathroom door opens back up. Like, well, you see it close, like somebody was there. And then you see it open, and he talks to this person again. There's no one there. And then his daughter's at the beach. She had been down in the basement getting something out of the freezer. She's like, I just talked to you. You just went to the toilet. And she's like, no, I was in the basement. And you could see him having a conversation with somebody and things moving around, that door opening and shutting.
Well, that's crazy. And I know you're saying you're smudging, and yeah, Ruth, ha ha ha, Ruth, yeah, ha 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 ha. I just, again, I had a friend of mine, well, my daughter's, she treats her like a little sister. I treat her like a daughter, and she's young, about 5 years younger than Taylor is. But she came by the other night because she was up here. She just moved back to Michigan. She's been out on the East Coast and in Washington, D.C. She was serving summons during the Wade versus Roe case for the Supreme Court and stuff. So, I mean, she's really done well for herself. So before she gets into a job here, because she wants to move back home, she's just been taking a month off, right? Because she's been so busy and there's so much. So she came over the other night, and a couple weeks ago, I got her hooked. I got her hooked into Alaskan Bigfoot, and it's about the tribe that went back to Portlock to see if they could be there, because 70 years prior, they had been driven out by Natinak, which means Bigfoot, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that they were doing and filming and experimenting with. And, you know, Lindsay was looking at like, oh my God, are they, wow? Like, I go, oh yeah, I would have been gone. I probably wouldn't have even gone back at all. If I would have gotten off from the boat that took us there, because it's an island, right? I don't think I would have, like, after setting one foot on, I'd turn around and get back on the boat, okay? Because this is how high the energy was. This will make you laugh so hard. So towards the end of they were there like 39 days, I think. And it was just 4 of them. They had all these people. They had a couple mediums come in, and the one medium left. She was there an hour and she left. She couldn't handle it. So they brought in the 38th day or 37th day, they brought in a paranormal group. So the medium that was with the group, man, she didn't know anything about it. They brought him there cold. She was spot on. I mean, she was walking through the woods, which are really thick up in Alaska, and she knew what was going on, and she just went right up. She could see it in her mind's eye. It was like cloaking, so you could see. And I do believe they have that ability, because I don't believe that originally they came from here, but I do believe they're all around the world, right? Yetis, all that stuff. I think they're all related. And so they came back down, and the young woman, she's probably in her late 30s, told this group of men, the native men, that there was something on the island that was evil. And she says, I don't think you're going to be able to get rid of it, because it's been here beyond time, right? So this, I just want to smack these people. Self-proclaimed demonologist, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He's going to get rid of it. Okay. So you know what a leaf blower looks like, right?
Yeah.
You know, you take it out there, it's gas powered, and it blows the leaves. Well, he got a leaf blower, and he encased it in like the silver chrome looking stuff that would be like chrome on a car, right? He says, I'm going to take care of your problem. And he puts sage, tobacco, I don't know how he was feeding it, but it was smoking. And he goes and he's smoking and saging and blessing the land that they were on. And I just looked at Lindsay and I said, is this just me, or he's like doing maybe 5 acres, 4 acres of space. And when they go up and look at the island, it's like massive. It even has a mountain in the background, and it's all woods and heavy woods, right? He's out there, yep, comes back. I think it's good now. I think you're good. He's a demonologist, and it was a demon. I'm like, no, it wasn't. And no, it wasn't. And so they have built a little lean-to type cabin, right, where they could sleep in it, 4 people side by side. So their families came over. They were all happy because this guy supposedly cleansed the earth with his smudge. They got in the boat that was going to take them back so they could tell the villagers, let's start. We're going to build. We're going to do this. They got probably 200 yards off the island, and they turned around, and the lean-to and their whole camp was on fire.
Oh my God.
And Lindsay goes, gee, I bet you they're not going to be wanting to come back now. Oh, I know. Get the demonologist out here to use his lawn blower. I'm like, seriously, people? Would you do something like that?
No. No.
I don't understand. I just don't understand it.
No. They don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to make TV.
Yep. Well,
That's all they're doing.
Here's a thought, right? Okay. We have so much unexplored land, the oceans they can't explore because they're so deep. We have creatures in there I think are massive, like that one I posted about a couple weeks back about submarine. He was like a 40-foot great white. He was massive. He didn't chew anything up. He just opened his mouth, and people are going like, well, where is he? Like, where is he? Deep down, right? So you think of all these woods and everything, and you know the story of why the people left. And I know some natives up in Manitoba that do this because they know they go into the wilderness to do ceremony. And what they do every night is they set out 20 pounds of onions, 20 pounds of potatoes to each direction. When they go to bed, and then they get up in the next morning and they're gone.
Yeah.
Right? So the whole thing was, okay, so you know this creature's here. And just because you can't always visually see them doesn't mean they're not there. Why don't you leave an offering out for it? Right? Why wouldn't you do that? No, you'd rather have some phony demonologist come.
Well, there's a guy on TikTok that has a gifting rock that he keeps leaving things, and things, sometimes things get left for him. It's pretty interesting. Next time I see him, I'll let you know. Invisible Artist here says, there's the full moon send people crazy. You can hear them running up and down the street shouting. Does it make people crazy? No, it just makes them act out of character. Or it can make them act out of character. And the full moon, depending on what sign it is, depending on what sign you are and how those signs affect you, you'll feel different with each new moon and each full moon. Sometimes you'll feel depressed and down. Sometimes you'll have, like last night for me, I fell asleep really early. I was so tired. I was just drained. And this morning I didn't want to get up. Oh, if I could have just slept in, that would have been amazing. But I didn't. I got up. Sometimes you feel more energetic during a full moon or even a new moon. And sometimes you have more creativity coming through you, more visions coming through you. It just depends. Sometimes you're on edge and you're still filled with anxiety during those times. So it just depends.
Yeah, well, in the super moon, I mean, any full moon for me, I know 4 days prior when it's going to come. I don't even have to look at a calendar, and probably 4 days after. I'm like so energized. It's like caffeine. Like I drank a bunch of Mountain Dews or, whatever, what is it? Red Bull, and it's like I'm so awake. But I can't focus. And that's what I hate about it, because I can't focus on one thing. My mind is everywhere. And I will say this, when I worked at the hospital system in Detroit, all the crazies would come in during the full moon, having done something really dumb. And what we found was it's a lot of people that have mental issues, like they could even be bipolar, and this like makes them hyper and kind of acting out and doing things normally they wouldn't do. So yeah, I think for sure the moon's for sure. For sure.
Yeah, it affects the tide. It's affecting us as well. Just like today, I just woke up this morning and I decided I'm like, I'm going to do a painting today. I'm going to do a live painting, and we're going to do the wolf today because it's a full moon. Hello, so why not do the wolf? And yesterday, I wanted to create that new journal. I didn't want to redo the journal I already have. I felt like this needed to be something fresh, something new, and I added so much more information in it. Like it has everything right there at your fingertips, and I can't wait for it to be published.
Good. When it does, bring me the copy and we'll put it up so people can see what it looks like and where they can get it. Hi, Jillian. Hi. Jillian, I haven't seen her in a while, so that's good that you tapped in. Yeah, you know, I just think I'm gonna put this to you too. One of the things I feel that's going on is it's like yin yang. We're fighting for. There's like a spiritual war going on in the world.
Oh yeah.
I think that it's also because of all the climate issues that are going on and the weather being so crazy. I mean, what do you think about that? Like, where's your thoughts on that?
Issues are man-made. The shit that's happening is being man-made. It's not just nature. They're amping up nature is what they're doing.
But yeah, by things that we're hurting the planet with, right? Is that what you mean?
The things that they're doing right now, all of these natural disasters are not natural. They are not natural disasters, but there's a whole agenda going on there. I don't really want to get into politics and all that kind of thing, you know. But people need to be careful. They need to be prepared. They need to be ready to just leave things behind and get out of harm's way, because it's more than just Mother Nature coming at you right now.
Oh, 100% of that. Yeah, 100%. But like I said, I do feel that it's almost like not only just humans. I feel that there's a spiritual war.
Oh, definitely.
I feel, and this is weird now that I'm sitting here.
Them, and the problem is that the them has all the money and all the ways to hurt all of us, and they're doing it.
Well, I completely forgot about this until just now because you said that. I feel that there are, and this may be a little out there, guys, so just bear with me. I feel that there are fallen angels here, but I believe they're fallen angels by choice. So I believe they're here working for the good, trying to kind of push chaos away from certain people that need help. And I think it was their choice to come. So when I hear the word fallen angel, it's different than what religion would say it is. Okay, because I feel that they come back, even though they're in human form, they have different abilities than normal, average people, I guess would be the way to put it. Is that the way to put it?
Well, yeah.
But I feel that and I like, again, I clicked in my head. I just saw that yesterday when I was sitting in the front room and I had some music on and stuff, and I kind of went away. That's what I was shown.
We are in the great awakening right now.
Yeah.
And you can see how much people were sleeping. You can see how many were sleeping and the difference. Now people are wide awake. They are seeing what's going on. They're recording what's going on. This is the reason they want to get rid of things like this and like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. That's the government owns that pretty much. They own Zuckerberg. They own all that, but they don't own TikTok. They don't own this right here, and they're trying to own all of it. because they want to limit what we're telling everyone. They don't. Everybody has a camera in their hand at all times. People are recording things. People are speaking up. The farmers have spoke up, and everyone else is starting to speak up. And so people are waking up to the truth. And it's now they're finally ready to accept the truth. And the truth is ugly. It's terrifying.
Well, I thought this is to your point, right? Recently, Taylor Swift came through to Michigan. She was down in Detroit, and she had like 3 shows here or something like that. But what they're hailing her for is her generosity, because she's putting millions of dollars into these cities that she's touring for food, for shelter. And I mean, literally millions giving to the right places, like the food shelters or what, the homeless shelters, whatever. And she's been doing this all around the United States. And I'm like, okay, so here's a young lady that has made enough money, she can live comfortably, and she's giving back to the people that put her in this space, right? Then you look at all these billionaire idiots that are out there.
Oh, they're not giving
up. Gates, all of them, right?
And somebody like the Anthony fellow with the song, where he has turned down deal after deal after deal because he's like, I don't want to go into this as one person and come out someone else.
Right.
And that's what he's going to do. And those people are just trying to use him to make money off of him. And he's not allowing it, which I think is amazing.
Admirable. Very admirable. But
yeah.
And then you look at these kind of people that are actually giving back to communities. And you know how many homeless people she's helped?
Yeah.
And Bezos and Gates, they're running things. That's what people don't get. They're actually got their hand in everything. What's his name on the old Twitter or whatever his name is? I can't remember now, but Elon Musk, he's got his own agenda. Each one of these guys have their own agendas and their own little puppets. And you're right. People are beginning to understand that. And we do need to wake up. Not only we need to wake up spiritually to understand.
They're speaking up, and people are more and more. I mean, it's just getting to the point where you can't deny the truth anymore. You can't just sweep it under the rug and say, "Oh, it's a conspiracy theory. That's not really happening." Proof and proof and more proof and more proof is coming out, and it's being put right in your face. So you cannot ignore it any longer.
Right.
You're learning how to grow your own food.
Yep.
You need learning how to take care of yourself. You need to learn how to do foraging. You don't know what's going to happen. Look at the people in Hawaii. Look at what has happened to them. The majority of them are gone. Dead. Yeah. They were all murdered, gone. That wasn't a natural disaster. No.
No, actually, the islanders that are there, the native, community has come right out and said the whole reason this happened was because they allowed it to happen through the grid, through the electrical. They didn't care. And the same calls.
There is a clause in their treaty with the Hawaiians that the government gets to take that land back if there's a natural disaster.
That's why I'm saying that this was caused with the help of a natural disaster, but it was the humans that input that in, and they just I cannot even imagine. They went through, I remember the first couple of days, and they showed all these cars just burned and ash and everything. I'm thinking, those were people in those cars. You're never going to know. There's nothing left.
Nothing.
So it's sad. It really is. But I think the whole purpose of what Holly's saying and I'm saying is you need to make the most of your lives every day with what matters. People you may be arguing with or family members. Make
the small stuff.
Yeah.
Learn to be happy right here, right now, where you are right now on your journey. Yeah, things have happened in the past. Yeah, you've had some bad luck. Yeah, some terrible things have happened. Had trauma, but you've got to learn to leave it where it was and
Yeah, it
be
just
happy right here,
poisons,
right
right?
now, in this moment. What?
It just kind of poisons the rest of your life if you hold that all in.
Yeah.
I just feel so strongly in that. Oh, you have not watched TV in 7 years. Oh, I understand that, but
Yeah, we don't watch regular TV.
I,
We watch our movie things and when we want to watch a movie, but that's it. We don't watch any news, any of the media, none of that.
well, because of the storms, I usually don't watch the news at all. Um, and I watch documentaries more than anything else. A lot of archaeology, a lot of paranormal. The ones that I know are good, but I
Yeah.
don't watch a lot of it anymore. Basically, because I'm mobile again, so I can do things again. Um, but I fell down the rabbit hole last week on the news because I just the sarcastic bitch that I can be wanted to see who I will not name because I don't like his name even touching my mouth. Um, went down and got his mugshot taken. Right, I had to see it because people are they're just like it's like a switch and bait. Everything on the news, everything political, it's all switch and bait. And I actually had to stop myself Sunday. I said, no more. I can't watch it again. So I've had it off until I found out about the hurricane down south because I have good friends and family that are down there. So I had to know. And at least till I got hold of them and they answered me back. But yeah, I go in spurts where I don't watch it at all, and then something will come up and it'll trick. Yeah, Ruth, yeah, she watches a lot of I think the documentaries are great. I think
Yeah.
they're amazing. They show
I
us.
did you ever watch Black Sails?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
You got to watch it. You got to watch Black Sails. That was one of my favorites because they put real life pirates. They kind of show, it's a series, it's TV, but they bring people from real history into it and try to, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. So it has more reality in it. You mean? So it has.
Reenact, reenact the people from actual history and bring them in and have them be real again. It was good. It was really good. And me and Robert were both watching, like, trying to figure out who was who in real life.
Well, what is your thoughts about AI?
Actually, I love AI to some extent, but just like anything and everything, in the wrong hands, it's terrifying.
I think it's. I think it's. I think it's gone too far.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in a vehicle and have the vehicle drive me anywhere with
Oh,
no
no.
hands.
Oh my
I
God.
don't
I'm
want.
a control freak.
Yeah, I just don't know what. I don't think anybody knows what they've already done with AI.
Oh, it's been around for a lot longer than people realize.
It just scares the bejesus out of me. And I don't like.
When you try to get on the phone with the cable company, you have this automated assistant. That is an AI technology
Well,
where she will lead you here and there, but she never gets you to where you need to be.
well,
She just
I had a friend. My friend Julie called me last night, or she texted me, and she had a friend that had the nerve damage, like you and I have with our legs and our feet and stuff. And she said it was really bad. She goes, "What did they switch you off of from the gabapentin?" I said, "Oh, I hated that stuff. That's where I lost a lot of my hair, and it was a mess." And I said it was just a fluke that I went into a walk-in clinic, and the doctor there had prescribed amitriptyline, which is not really like out there for nerve damage, but it doesn't have the side effects that the gabapentin. Once I got on it, I have a lot less pain in my. They're still a little numb, but I'm good. Except when I get like you do, in the first time in the morning, and you're trying to stand, and it's like ah. But So I texted her that on my phone, what it was. And I came into my room and I put the TV on. And I usually put something on that's just kind of mindless, like, I don't know, Survivor, where it's just noise to kind of get my brain to settle. And for the first time in my life, I saw an amitriptyline commercial. I was like, okay, so who's listening to my phone? I've never even seen I mean, it came up within like 2 minutes of me turning the TV.
When I worked at Remax, and I mean, it had to be at least 5 years or so ago. So my phone was in my purse, my computer was in my bag, everything was turned off, and I was leaving to head home. And the front desk, not the front desk, but the accounting girl, she sat near the front desk. She said, "Hey, come in here, look at this." She lives down the street from me. She said, "What do you think about these?" She showed me some greenhouse. So she was wanting to get a new greenhouse on her property. And so we were looking at them for a minute. And, you know, I told her which one I liked, which one I thought would be best for her. And then I left. I mean, it wasn't more than 2 minutes. That was it. Me looking at them and saying, "No, that's the one you should get." By the time I got home, opened up my laptop, what do I see? Greenhouse ads. I didn't search for them. And I would have this little test in all my classes because I would teach social media and marketing. And I would say, let's talk about something completely random. And we bring up several different topics. And I'd say, all right, now everybody, go on throughout your day and then report to me and let me know how many of these particular things showed up in your app. And everybody would always come back and be like, yeah, there they are. There they are. The phones are listening. The computers are listening. Everything is listening to you.
Oh, the smart TVs. Oh, yeah, they're all listening. That's why I laugh. Christy would say to us, our sister Christy, who won't come on air because she doesn't want to be seen. I love her to death, but she'll say something like, I'm not doing that. They ain't going to track my phone. And I'm like, do you think if the government wants to know about you, they would have...
What people know is that, okay, so here's where your camera usually is on your phone. In the center of your screen is a camera where the phone itself takes photos of you on a regular basis, and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
The Roomba. Did you hear about when it got hacked recently? Oh, this was some shit right here. The Roomba. Somebody hacked the website, and the Roomba goes around while it's going around your house.
Oh yeah, mapping your house.
The photos and keeping those photos. And so there's pictures of people, you know, in all kinds of positions, with clothes, without clothes, and doing all kinds of things on the Roomba, in the Roomba database.
Well, I agree 100%. But you brought the Roomba up, so I'm gonna leave everybody with a joke about the Roomba. Okay, so this. One of Taylor's best friends, her name is also Taylor. She has an older sister who got married last year, or 2 years now. Anyway, she bought a house. They redid the house, redid all the floors, put new carpeting in, and they have a dog. And the dog's a little out there, right? So they went to work, and the dog was loose in the house. Well, the dog took a dump on the floor in the kitchen, right? Well, they had their Roomba to clean the house while they were gone, right? So the Roomba went over the dog do and spread it all over the new carpeting. So they walked in, it was literally a house of poop. So yeah, don't get a Roomba. Don't get a Roomba. You don't need pictures and you don't need anything spread out. You have to they laugh now because really, like,
I would have lost my mind. Oh my gosh. Robert would have loved it, however, because his favorite thing is when people are gagging. The fermented fish challenge, he will watch those all day long, and anything where someone's going, Oh, it's the funniest thing in the world to him.
Well, it's like that. Like I said, that one woman hit her husband in the head with an egg and just kept going. And I don't know how she kept a straight face. And he's like, what in the heck? And she did it again, and some of the egg dripped down. He's like, oh. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm right there with him. I have to laugh. Although eggs wouldn't bother me, but some stuff might. So I don't know.
Eggs doesn't bother me. If somebody else is throwing up, though, I can't handle it. I'll be throwing up too. You'll be cleaning up after people. No.
I think it's because I worked with kids in the hospital for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't bother me at all. It really doesn't. I've had them puke on me. It's like because they're in the hospital, right? So they're sick. But I know some of the nurses, and I always say, why are you in nursing if you can't handle a little bit of puke?
Oh, God, I can't do it. No, I can't do it. I can't handle my own. I can't handle somebody else's. Good Lord, no. Okay, change the subject. I think we got to go. Love you guys.
Okay. Live. Actually, we've been on a little over an hour. So you guys, I know we kind of got off onto stuff, but you know what? It's relevant what's going on today. So I hope you had a little bit of fun between Holly and I. So.
Out there.
Okay, guys. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Bye.